Martin Shkreli, the infamous Pharma bro, is about to stand trial. And of course, the first part of this trial is jury selection. However, the trial is kind of having a difficult time finding the right jurors because people seem to be incredibly biased against him. In fact, people who don't even know who he is look at his face and they just think that guy looks like a crook. And we don't think that we can get over that in order to rule unbiased in an unbiased fashion. So let me give you the details. More than 120 potential jurors were dismissed Monday, that's yesterday, from the federal court trial in Brooklyn, where Shkreli faces 8 counts of securities and wire fraud related to 2 hedge funds and the drug company Retrophin. So this isn't even about the drug company that he had known as Turing Pharmaceuticals, which of course did the price gouging of a drug known as Daraprim. He increased the price from $13.50 a pill to $750 a pill. Okay, so he's a bad dude. Now, when the jurors or potential jurors were questioned about him, here are some of the quotes or statements that they made. One juror said, "This is the price gouger of drugs. My kids are on some of these drugs. This impacts my kids."
Gone. So, I mean, I like the jury system. I know that that's not oftentimes a popular opinion, but I like facing a jury of my peers. But it's kind of a weird situation where if you are personally affected by this and hence understand it better than anyone else, you're not allowed on the jury. They consider that bias. I would consider that a very legitimate perspective. So, but no, those guys are gone.
Yes, let me give you a few other examples of people who will not be on the jury. Many jurors seem to see Shkreli as the face of corporate greed in America. That's what one man said. Another individual said, "I think he's a very evil man.
Wow.
I don't think I can be fair. My opinion is pretty well informed. I wouldn't want to serve on this jury."
He's saying his opinion is well formed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Formed.
That's okay. And on that one, yeah, I'd release that juror. One guy in the jury thinks the dude is already evil before the trial. Yeah, you gotta go.
Now, not everyone who was a potential juror knew who he was. They don't necessarily follow the news, but they seem to have a bias against him anyway on face alone. And that was a pretty incredible component to this story. So one person who didn't know anything about him said, "I looked right at him and in my head I said, that's a snake," not knowing who he was. I mean, look, some might say like, isn't that kind of unfair? But he can't even take a single picture without looking like a smug prick. And if you don't believe me, let's go to graphic 9. Okay, let's go to graphic 10.
And so, yeah,
he just always has this.
He doesn't have to make that face.
Look at that face. Why does he make that face? It's like he wants people to hate him.
Yeah, so it's not the contours of his face, it's the look that he constantly has, like
the expression.
I'm screwing you somehow.
Yeah, and then my favorite quote, again, this is a person who didn't know anything about him prior to jury selection. One man said, "Kind of looks like a dick."
He was let on to the jury because the judge found that statement to be accurate. No, he wasn't. No, he's not allowed on the jury. Shkreli might have a little bit of a tough time in this case, partly because he's wrong.
Yeah.
The jurors apparently, see, that's how I told you, I believe in the jury system. They could sense that this guy is who he actually is.
Yeah, look, we obviously covered him and we know that he's not a great person. However, I think everyone, regardless of who they are, deserves a fair trial. And so I do hope that they find jurors who are not biased, immediately biased against him. And I hope justice is served. That's my take on it.
If you say so. No, of course. Look, I know Shkreli might be a unique case, but overall, don't make judgments on people based on their face. Not a good idea, okay? Believe me, you'll have plenty of evidence to decide that he's a dick anyway. We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together, we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazil story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built the studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. tytnetwork.com/join.